know, the thing about us pigmentally challenged people like myself, when it gets cold, we get dry. My skin right now is so dry. I'll tell you, it is drier than the phone lines at Joe Jackson's management company right now. It is so okay. I just had to get that out of the way. You know, you guys are familiar with the R&B singer, songstress Toni Braxton, right? Right? We know her. Yeah. You know, actually, it's funny. People always say that celebrities are just like people. They really are. You know, we actually have a lot in common. You know, the first one is that neither one of us have jobs. The second one is that we both live in houses someone else pays for. And number three, neither one of us can sing. But she made a very lucrative career out of it, and I applaud her for it. Next, I'd like to discuss, we have any housewife fans in the room today? Housewives? You know, kind of like the Barbara Walters of Real Housewives, Nene Leakes. You know, she was in the hospital recently. And she was diagnosed with attention deficit disorder. You know, the lack of attention she was receiving made her sick. But you know, it's fine now. We have someone going in there every 45 minutes to tell her she matters. Everything is good now. Have you guys heard about the Kris and Bruce Jenner divorce? Anyone? Mm-hmm. It really breaks my heart. I'm more upset about their divorce than I was about my own parents' divorce. It is really hitting home for me. You know, I guess they just got tired of being married to Freddy Krueger. And you know what's funny about that is people always ask me which one I'm talking about when I say Freddy Krueger. You know, Bruce Jenner, Olympic champion, great guy. All the plastic surgery and the Botox, that guy's had more shots to the face than Rihanna in 2009. It's crazy. Who wants to be married to a guy who wears his Halloween mask 365 days out of the year? But you know, it's funny, people say that Kris is at the gym. She's no better either. You know, at this point, it's just silicone and air, a little bit of blood, not much. After 22 years, the conversation must have been more bland than playing Marco Polo with Helen Keller. I just don't understand how you can be functioning in that. You know, my parents are married for 5 years and they hated each other. Like, how do you do 22 years? That sounds like a life sentence in prison. In fact, I think I'd prefer a life sentence in prison than being married to Bruce Jenner. I'm just gonna go out there and say it. You know, next I'd like to discuss, you know, we have people who use Instagram here, right? Instagrammers. I noticed a trend on Instagram where the girls, they'll paint all 4 of their nails one color and their index finger another color. And I saw Katy Perry do it. I came across her Instagram profile. You know, she had 4 nails that were all black and her index finger was white. And I was like, you know, this reminds me a lot of season 4 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. There's these 4 strong, independent black nails, and this one white nail just draining all the attention right to itself. You know, it's kind of just like it's loud, it wants to be known, it wants to be seen, but hey. Next, you know, I want to talk about my Lord and Savior. I don't like to bring religion to the stage, but we have to talk about Beyonce. She just released her new album. You know, I love her, but I feel like it's very unoriginal of her. People say, you know, oh, it's unprecedented, she didn't have any warning, any promotion, no nothing. She just dropped it, no one knew about it. And I'm just like, really? Because the other 2 members of Destiny's Child released albums no one hears about all the time. You know, like, you know, one time I went to Walmart and they had Kelly Rowland's album for $1.09. And then I went to Target and they was giving Michelle Williams' album away with purchase. Like, please take this album from us today to you now. Oh, you know what? Speaking of, you know, it's wedding season. And you know, someone who will never ever get married is Jennifer Aniston. And I love her, but there was a CNN alert when she cut her hair. And I really like her haircut, because you know, it reminds me a lot of her relationships. Short and attention-seeking. And I think I tip my hat to her, because she looks phenomenal. A lot better than Ashley was doing these days. But that's just my personal opinion. Last thing I think I'd like to talk about, you know, it's flu season. Everyone's getting sick. Everyone around me is getting very, very sick. And for a little bit, I dabbled into the flu. I was coughing, hacking, sneezing. And my father and my stepmother, they're also sick. And, today we went to church. And, I like church, I just don't like their church. They're very mega church spirit, except the sanctuary is like the size of this room. And I don't understand why I have to do tithe and offering 5 times a sermon if it's not going clearly to the sanctuary. But we went, and those ushers at that church, they don't play at all. So we're coughing, we're hacking, we're sneezing, and there's 3 ushers that come up, they pull me by the collar of my shirt, my father by the collar of his suit, and my stepmother by the lace of her Sunday wig. And they pull us up to the front, and the whole congregation starts to lay hands on us. And I mean, am I the only one that sees the flaw in laying hands on sick people? But I'm gonna leave it alone. So they lay their hands on us, and it gets to the point where you're supposed to fall out into the spirit. When you're on TV, you fall out to the spirit. So this lady, the usher, she goes, all right, this is the part where you fall out into the spirit. And it's like, no, I'm not falling out into the spirit. It's like, you're holding up service, fall out into the spirit. And I'm like, I'm not gonna fall out onto the floor. And so then she pushes me with all of her might to the floor. I fall back, crack the back of my head, wake up half an hour later draped in a red velvet blanket in the fetal position. Thank you guys, you were great.